Anyways, I had to do something. I ended up cutting off Jamilah for a long time, for a couple of weeks. It's a long story. But the 400-pound person was arrested, but it had nothing to do with my situation. But he was arrested for other reasons. And since my friend and I want to continue the case, since it happened with him and I, we didn't continue the case. But I did cut off Jamilah. She refused to tell me who these people were and why she brought them there, when she brought them there. Like, she could have had me murdered. She could have had me murdered. That's it. She could have me murdered. Anyways, she went through her own thing, but let me tell you another story. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. This is another thing that happened with her that I did not say, and you have to hear it. Okay, so I was having a hard time finding a ride to go back to the home, and I ended up hitting up Jamilah. I said, hey, Jamilah, can you come pick me up? And Jamilah was like, sure, I can come pick you up, because I couldn't find a ride, and she was my only option, so I asked her. And at this time, some of those other things didn't happen, but some did happen, but, it was in between. She picks me up with her friend, and she's like, let's go hang out. I was like, sure. At this time, I was trying to, better my life and better myself. She's like, sure, let's go hang out. And I was like, I'll come along, I guess. But the entire time when we were going over there to go hang out, this girl had planned to pin me out. She planned to sell me with the friend that she was with. She made an agreement with him that I would be the dumb that would do that. When I went there, the whole thing was very strange, and I got so upset. And I was telling her I want to go home, and they're upset that I was impatient. I want to go home. Like, why are you mad that I don't want you to use me? So that was one thing. Again, I'm slow, I guess. I guess it's the autism. I don't know. But God has always been with me, alhamdulillah. So I can't say alhamdulillah, that's all I can say. Fast forward. So Jamilah's homeless after that whole home invasion. Jamilah becomes homeless. Home invasion was about me. So anyways, she becomes homeless and stuff. And she suffers a lot. Well, I figured my own thing out, was not hanging out. But I ended up getting my own crib. Let me continue. So I have my own crib, and at this time, Jamilah is having her homeless experiences. She's going house to house to house to house, and no one wants to stay with her. She's always being in mess. So this one time, I was done praying. Yes, I was in my religious phase. I love that for me. I found God. I had prayed Isha, and I had made my da'was and everything. And then around 12, I hear a knock on my door. And I answer, it's Jamilah. She said, hey, me and my kids got kicked out. I got nowhere to go. You don't have to let me inside, because she knew me and her had beef. But can you let my children stay with you, please? My children. Can you just look after my children? I'm not beefing with her kids. I love her kids. So what do I say? I say, fine. I'll hold your kids. Kids have a good heart. So I hold her kids. I had a good time with her kids. I took one of her kids off diapers. Me. I will always love that memory with her. I have so many videos of me with her kids. They loved it. We had hard times sometimes. We were struggling together a little bit. Sometimes I did not have food, so I make anjera or malwa. It's I forgot how Americans say it, but it's flour, thin flour circles. I put sugar on them or syrup. I used to make those, and I would cut them in triangles. Since they didn't know how to pronounce it, they just called it triangles. They'd be like, Nina, we want some triangles. Nina, I'm hungry. I want triangles. So sometimes we would cook that knowing that we really didn't have much to eat some days. My family did not want her to stay with me. My family did not want her around me. My family didn't even want me to take care of her kids. That's how upset they were of the situation. And at times, the kids were kicked out. can't tell you who did it, but someone kicked out the kids. That I don't take care of her kids, you know. And they had every right to feel that way. But I was so upset that they kicked out the kids and they didn't feel bad for the kids. And I was skeptical about calling CPS because I didn't push them out. At least I understood what motherhood was like, even though I haven't pushed out my own child. God gave me the ability to feel and know things, even though I'm not that person. I can feel it. I know it. So I was kind of skeptical, like I wouldn't do it because Lord knows she might off herself. So I helped out the best way we could, the best way I could, sorry. And of course, I always kept pushing her to be righteous, to be good, to follow Islam, you know. It was hard for her. I would play Quran sometimes. I would try to be very mindful of the Quran. And then eventually I became like such a hypocrite because I started abandoning my righteousness. I started abandoning it because I was so stressed out over the kids and the health of their mother. Sorry. I like gas, so I like burp a lot. I became so stressed out myself, and I felt like I was reverting back into my old ways, and it was impossible to get a grip of reality because now I'm like the kids, and I'm like, but this person did this to me, and I'm like, this is a test from Allah. I can do this, you know. Eventually, I tried to tell her that she cannot be there anymore. She needs to take care of her kids because I thought at some point she did not want to be around the kids. She was more often outside. I just didn't like it. I wanted her to bond with her kids and try to do better and be better. It seemed like it was hard for her to do so because of the lifestyle that she chose to want. And then eventually she stays with a cousin of mine, tries to help her. It didn't work out. She would lock her door and not allow her inside. So again, Allah puts this woman right back on my doorstep, and I'm like, should I help? Should I not? And I felt like I was obligated to because I love her kids. They're children. They do not deserve to be dragged outside in the hot sun. They do not deserve to suffer just because of their mother. So again, I stepped out and helped. Even though I got talked about, I got treated wrong, I helped. And yeah, through all those things, I stayed having both of my feet rooted and always praying to Allah to help me. And Allah did help me. And yes, I called her family who lived far away, and I said, come get these kids before I call CPS. And the government takes them. And yes, the family did come take the kids. And that's how I got separated with the kids. I took videos of them. They say goodbyes. We said our goodbyes. And I feel so proud of myself. I saved the kids to go better their health so that they're not around their mama. Like, she didn't even go with them, literally. Her family came, they took the kids, and I said goodbye. I made some videos, and I showed her some videos. She went a different time. That's my story with Jamilah, and I hope you make better choices than me.